Hi, this is Shaun. In this video, we're going to go over how to create a light painting, or a virtual light painting, in fact, using After Effects. And we are going to actually track this point, which we shot some video, and then we're going to create a particle emitter and have particles emit as if we were doing a light painting. So it's sort of a virtual light painting. So that's our goal. Let's get started. So we've got this video source, and I'm going to go into the tracking palette, which I'm already in under motion tracking, and I'm going to make sure the motion source is set correctly. That's my video clip, and I'm going to say track motion, and that creates a motion tracking dot that appears on the screen. And so let's just go to where this starts, and I'm going to click and drag this tracker down right into the center of this dot. So the center point is the tracking area, and this is the search area, the second box. And then to start the track, you just hit play. And we've got a pretty solid track going on here. Although, one thing I just noticed, if we go to the beginning, and if you make a mistake or if there's a problem, you can just sort of rewind. I noticed this center point here. We can put that. That's actually part of the tracker. Every once in a while that gets lost. But the tracker is really solid. I mean, it does a good job of tracking the information. And I'm not going to track this whole clip because we're, this is just for a demo. But, every once in a while you may lose the tracker, and you can stop and retrack something if you want just by hitting play, or in this case, like the point was lost, and now I'm just going to move it to the next area where it's found again and just continue tracking from here. So let me hit play again. So you can, in a second, you'll get a sense that the person doing the light painting was creating a sailboat. So you can almost see that where the keyframes show up, or you can almost imagine it right now. So let me hit stop. So there it is. So now what we need is, we want to, it's often a good idea to parent the tracking data to a null object. So I'm going to create a null object. I'm also going to create a just a solid. So Control Y creates a solid, dropping that into the scene. I'm going to close this tracking layer, and I'm going to create a particle system on the orange solid. So you can go into a lot of the effects, and there's in the simulations area you can see a lot of effects. I prefer just to go into the effects palette and then just type particle. And the particle system I'm going to use is this Particle Systems 2. It's a nice, efficient particle. If I hit play, you can see it plays really well. And so I'm going to modify some of the particle settings in order to make this work. I'm going to go into the physics area, and I'm going to turn down, like, we don't want any velocity or gravity, and we don't want the particles to move in any direction. The other thing, we want it to live for quite a long time, so I'm going to turn that up for 4 seconds. You can even type in a further number than that. In terms of the size of the producer, probably don't want, we want that to match pretty much the this object. And if we were going to do if we were going to like match the color, then we might even go into the particle settings and just say the birth color and the end color, the death color is this. And if we wanted to make it, as the particles got older, we could make it, them get darker. And so I'm going to, now that I've set up my particle system, I'm going to go into the tracking data again, and I'm going to apply that tracking data to the null node. So let's go in and do that. So motion tracking, and what's the motion source here? We've got the tracking data. What's the target? The target is our null, so that's set up correctly. I'm going to hit OK, and then I'm going to apply the tracking data to the null node. It says, okay, I'm going to do the X and Y application. And so now we select our null. You can see that the null follows the point really well. And so now what we need to do is we need to hook up in the, this is, I'm going to name this, let's call this, it's the particle layer. And if you hit the E key, you can reveal the effects. If I double click on the effect itself, I can pull up the particle systems effect. And what we want to do is we want to move the producer in the particle system, which is this position. And we want to tie that position to the null node. And so the null node, if you hit the U key, that'll reveal keyframes. The position, we want to get that position data onto our particle layer. So let's double click that. And the way we can do that is if you hold down the Alt key and click here, it opens up the expression editor, and we can actually use this thing called the pick whip just to drop that onto the position. So now we should have our particle system starting to move, and there it is. It's moving fairly well with our dot, and you can see where it gets lost. And right now the particles fade out over time, but you could choose to make their the life even 10 seconds long. And you could choose to animate the color of the particle, or even make the, like right now I feel like it's a little thick in terms of the particle itself, or the producer, although it's 1, it's not too bad. We can go less, maybe 0.5. So that gives us a tighter line. And if we wanted to make this look more like a light painting, maybe we would add some glow. So we could go into the effects palette again and just type in After Effects and say glow. And here's a glow. We could drop that onto our particle layer. So you can see now we're starting to get a little bit of a glow, and you can modify the glow settings. What is the glow intensity, dial that up if we wanted to, or the glow radius, so you get a nice neon halo. And we could even do some other things with the particle system if you want. We could every once in a while tie in some physics, or but overall that's basically our virtual goal. And we could, I think I would blur this as well. There's quite a few different blurs, Gaussian blurs, and old and good blur could apply on here. And maybe even take the blur and put that before the glow. Take that. So now we've got a pretty smooth glow. But there's some other techniques for making this. I think it looks pretty good. So I think we'll end here. Thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please ask me in class, or you could also put it up on YouTube and post there. So let's take a look at the. We can let this play for another second here. You can see the sailboat being built in particles. All right. Thanks so much for watching.